Hello and a warm welcome here out of China, out of the commentary box. Next to me is Jonny Simon, I'm Chris de Jong, and we're back at Formula SimRacing for another brilliant day of racing today. How are we feeling, John?
Feeling great, and we're at the lovely circuit of Shanghai, and a great venue to kick off another round of brilliant racing we've seen throughout the first two rounds of Pro Series racing.
It has been a spectacular weekend already, if we saw the race yesterday, and for those who were in it, they definitely felt some excitement there. Today is Pro, later today is World Championship, and I'm very curious to see what drivers can show what their limit is. If people have improved, will Rens Club even get further away? Will Ghost Speed have an answer?
We've seen Rens Club, sorry to cut you off there, we've seen Rens Club and Jorik Bergev's almost run away with the title so far, but it's still early days, and I think Bergev's showing great promising paces. We see him completing a lap now. He does a 37.7 in Q1. That's a bit off the pace, but I think on the hot laps page he gave us a bit of a sneak peek of a 36.5, which is around the pole time for Ace. So terrific work from him. See if Klopp can match that, even make a better time than that.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the pack is moving a bit, and people are getting used to the mod and know which way they want to go with the setup, and I hope it translates in epic racing. A little bit less excitement than yesterday alongside the drivers would be nice, since there were again 2 starting crashes yesterday. We don't hope to see any of this in Pro today, but it's racing and contacts happen, and these things unfortunately egos sometimes collide.
Yeah, exactly, and the Pro drivers are here to prove themselves and who's better than the other, but at the same time got to watch out for each other. Ace drivers are there to prove themselves as well, but they've got to obviously watch the contact, which they haven't done.
Yeah.
Q1 at the moment, 10-minute session, top 10 go through to Q2. There's no parc fermé rules, and each driver is allowed to use as many tyres as they want of any compound.
It's going to be an exciting Q1 to watch, though.
Yeah, exactly, and I think at the moment, I was watching the times. Daniel Brewer's up there as well, and our pole sitter from round 1, Christoph Schor, is in second. And they're the two I'm expecting to bring the challenge to Klopp and Bergev for the lead, and even maybe Jeroen Kwijkel, who has some great pace, but missed the last round, so I'm not sure if he might be a little bit rusty. And we'll only see in 4 minutes time when this session ends.
Yeah, it's nice to see that Kwijkel is back indeed, and what you just said about Schroer, he didn't manage to get pole position in the first round, and then dropped off a bit in the second. He might have a nice return. Let's hope so for him.
Yeah, so this China Shanghai circuit, we're at 16 turns. That's about 5.4 kilometers, around 3.3 miles. We have 2 DRS zones available at the track. That's along the long back straight and the main straight. And as we go along with Jeroen Kwijkel now, we follow him for a lap. He's entering turn 1. Got a bit of traffic there. That's Alessio Campos, who goes way off the track to not get in the way. Tricky section for the drivers, that turn 1, 2, 3 complex, Chris.
Yeah, it is. The turn 1 is definitely the most demanding for your left front tire, and it's very easy to get it wrong, and it's very hard to get it right, because you have a double, maybe even triple apex you need to take. So that takes a lot of insight. Let's see how these drivers cope with that. At the moment we are seeing some promising times though, and not yet in the 36, but Daniel Brewer is not far off with 37.009. So as we move into the last 3 minutes of this session, Mikko Srokas is on 10th place with a 37.975, and Jeroen Kwijkel is only a few thousandths of a seconds behind that. This will be a nice battle for the last remaining Q2 spots.
Yeah, the track is rubbering in. I think Mikko Swalkos now, he's coming onto the back straight where he's going to flick on DRS as he passes the zone right now. His lap is looking good for a 36 at the moment, so we'll follow him now across the final corner.
His top speed, I didn't manage to see. He's on the flyer for sure. Will he get into the Q2 grid spot?
He's come to his final corner.
Pick some good momentum up. But he seems like he wants to go for another lap. No, he's not.
No, he's that last sector, I think he butchered a little bit, and he's in P3 though, so it's not bad for him. 1 minute 37.1.
Definitely not bad, and it's nice to see that the complete top 6 is within basically 0.5 of a second, although Rens Klopp shows that the difference can be made by putting a 36.900 on the track. He's definitely secure for a Q2 spot, but at the back it's getting really interesting. Campus now on the 10th place with Parlington on 11 and Jorik Boshoven still with a 37.7 on 12th spot. This is not what Go Speed want, obviously.
What's really worrying about Bojov is that he's just left the pits now. He's probably going to cross the line with about 5 seconds to go. So he's going to have to make sure there's no traffic in front of him, because else he's going to be out in Q1, and I think he showed the best pace out of any of these drivers through practice.
I think you had it on the 20-second replay though, because he's already into sector 2 now. If he doesn't make any mistakes, he will get a new lap in easily. Although we did see some problems yesterday with the server setup, where drivers couldn't finish their last hot lap. I don't hope for Boshoven this happens again, because this will be an unfortunate spot for him on the 12th spot. Definitely not what he was thinking. He's certainly a top 10 contender. On the further side of the grid, there are some surprising names on the back though. We've seen Dewald Nel further up the field in the early races. He slightly dropped a bit.
Yeah, and even I think Zaharov, sorry. Yeah. He's in 20th now, but he's shown a bit faster pace than that. So maybe he's just like Bojov, hasn't got a clean lap in. And I'm very actually worried for Bojov. Hopefully the server setting has been fixed. We'll find out in 10 seconds time.
Yeah,
but, he's going to cross the line.
Yeah, he's going to cross the line Jensen Button style, Spain 2009. 2 seconds to go. Jensen Button there got pole position. Let's see what Jorik Boshoven can do. Jorik Boshoven is the last guy that can get another flyer in, I believe. Although there's another driver behind him as well going for another flyer. Let's go on board a bit with Jorik Boshoven to see if he can get rid of the 12th spot and he can get himself into Q2. The first sector of Boshoven is at 25.8, which is up there, as it be 2-3 tenths out of Daniel Brewer, but I'm surely convinced that Boshoven can get into the top 10.
Yeah, convinced, but he's got to make this second sector stick. This is where he made his mistake on his second lap. But all of 6 drivers of the top 7, except for Rens Klopp, all in the pits, they're confident they can make it through. Daniel Brewer's in P1, 36.7. I think Bojov's second sector now is a 29.0. That's not his best, so he's definitely on the bubble at the moment, Jorik Bojov. Yeah,
definitely a good sign for Alessio Campos. But as I said, that Jeroen Kwekel goes faster. Alessio Campos is out of the Q2.
So Jeroen Kwekel is in P10, just makes it through. Bojov's now final hairpin, brakes well on, nice traction out of the penultimate corner. Final corner now. This is where it's all going to count.
And it's only tenths. He does it.
He's P5, makes it. Nice lap, 37.2. Not as fast as he showed.
No, but it's good enough for this moment. Sebastian Velosa from Precision Motorsports will not be amused by that, because he just got pushed out in 11th spot because Boshoven went faster. Either way, the top 10 is that advances to the Q2 is Daniel Brewer, Rens Klopp, Christopher Schroer, Suokas and Boshoven. And then it's Nelms, Holmes, Coriala, Mike Parlington and Viktor Ivanov completing the top 10. So one of these top 10 drivers will get pole position. We see that Daniel Brewer and Rens Klopp are well really close match to each other with only a few hundredths of a seconds separating them. And on the back of the field there are the other 8 drivers are within 0.4 of a second. We will see a major fight for pole position, and it's interesting to see who will go on the softer tire and who will go on the hard tire. The soft and hard are the compounds that have to be used this weekend. So what are your expectations, Jonny?
One stop race, so yeah, as you said, any driver can pick any tire they want to start with. Now with Q2 though at the moment, it's only a 5-minute session, remember, so top 10 only, 1 lap only, and that's Parc Fermé rules as well. So as you said, they're going to pick the tire they want to start on for this 34 lap race. Yeah. And they have to start that tire. Yep, they have to start the race on the tire they qualify on in Q2.
Definitely, and this will be really important for the strategies, of course. There is a big difference between the soft tire and the hard tire. And of course people on the stream are thinking, yeah, there's a difference. But applying that difference to your stint has a major significance. If you start on the harder tire, you will do some real slow laps at the start. But if you are in front, overtaking is possible here with DRS and the good straights. But it's all about the strategy. What will work best, and the soft tire will degrade easily with a high fuel tank.
Yeah, so it does. And also what's interesting this round is the fact that it's a soft and hard. Normally you might have the one compound up, so the soft and medium, for example, but they've gone for a bit of a skip. And if you're wondering which tire is identified by what, the yellow marked band tire is the soft and the orange is the hard. And hopefully there's no drivers outside of the top 10 that accidentally go out in Q2 like we saw last round with the PSR cars. Yeah. Carlos Martin, has warned specifically. And I think Jonathan Holmes will be the first across the line to start his lap now.
Yeah, he is, and it will be interesting. But according to what you just said, the soft and hard tire, John-Eric Saxon making some nice fluctuations in that. Also with the new calendar, we are all really pleased about the upcoming tracks. I think I can speak for all. Right now, as we can go on board with our Englishman Jonathan Holmes. Now he started on the softer compound, as you see on the yellow stripes. What will his sector 1 be?
Aiming for about a 25.6 would be a good time.
That would be optimistic. 25.5. He's definitely shown some improvements from Q1. Doesn't have the best of exits in that hairpin. Let's see if he can carry enough speed through the fast left and right hander here.
Unfortunately, he hit the inside curb exiting the corner, but I think he can still make up for it. Only lost probably about 0.2 through that single mistake. But sector 2 is coming up now. Braking just after the 100 meter board, 29.2. So yes, those 0.2 that he lost could pay.
Yeah, he's on the flyer definitely, and Daniel Brewer as well, showing a top speed of 326 kilometers an hour. Of course, during the qualification sessions, you are allowed to use the DRS at the moments you are possible to use it. Let's see now. Still a few drivers on their outlaps. As is Rens Klopp, who definitely wants that little bit of more grip.
But here's Jonathan Holmes now crossing the line, staying to the right to the shortest run, the 37.0, not bad for Q2. Remember, Parc Fermé carrying more drag.
Definitely, and this is a nice time, but I don't think it's the time he aimed for. He might have had a mistake in the last sector. As Thomas Coriala shows some pace with 37.392, second for the moment, but only 2 times have been set.
Victor
Range
Ivanov's on a 25.5 first sector, not bad.
Yeah.
And Swerkus is P2 now, 37.1.
Yeah, Rens Klopp now going into his flying lap, so he will be the last guy to cross the finish line. At the moment, I think it's a battle between Brewer and Klopp if they manage to get the maximum out of their car. A lot of drives now in the 37 and 36.6 for Jorik Boshoven from Go Speed. Definitely some nice times, and it shows he wasn't isn't home in 14th spot on the grid. So nice he got into Q2 and he managed some pace there.
Daniel Brewer went third in the meantime, and looking at Christoph Schur, our pole sitter from round 1, will he be able to do it again in China? Remember, he missed out in Malaysia qualifying due to issues, comes across as only P5, so off the pace with a 37.3.
Yeah, definitely not what he wanted. Either way, it's now the turn to Rens Klopp to turn some heads. Will he be able to do the 36.6 and dive underneath it?
So first Partington will cross. He's made a mistake coming out of the hairpin. He's going to have a slow lap, but Klopp is behind him. So this is Klopp's time to shine. Will he take pole position away from Bojov? Partington goes 9th with that mistake. Klopp across the line. Second.
36.8, so 2 tenths separate Jorik Boshoven, and Daniel Brewer has not got the lap in he desperately wanted. Definitely a pole position contender according to the practice and qualified times, Q1 times. But we have our top 10. Please lead us through it, Jonny.
So Bojov, terrific job. P1, 36.6. Not close to his preview time of 36.5 he gave us on the hot laps page. Klopp second, 36.8. He's our winner from Malaysia. Then Mr. Consistency, that's Jonathan Holmes, 37.0 in P3. Daniel Brewer will be slightly disappointed with P4, though he's still up there to fight for the win and the lead for Avid Chronic. For Faster Than Speed, that's Mikko Swerkus in 5th. Christoph Schur for Anshu is in 6th. Thomas Coriala is in 7th, followed by Victor Ivanov, Clayton Nelmes, and then Mike Partington rounds out the top 10. Unfortunate, though, we didn't mention was Hieron Kweekel, who was in P11, who missed out. Was one of our front runners in Bahrain, so maybe he is slightly a bit rusty from missing the last round.
He might have been, but let's see if he can get a good start of the race. And he could go on the softer compound as well and try to stick with those guys and just wait for the mistakes to happen and fight his way through the field. As warm-up is about to start, we have our grid lined up. Personally, I would have liked to see some more names into the Q2, but there's only room for 10, of course. There are some drivers who maybe didn't got the lap in they wanted in Q1, but they're not into Q2. Definitely is showing some potential. If you have some faster guys in the middle of the pack, it will definitely mix up some things, and we will definitely see some action there. So let's see.
Yeah, and in just as you said, 11th, 12th, 13th, you got 3 in my classification. They're front runners. That's Kweekel, Campus, and Falcon. Remember, Falcon in Malaysia did a terrific job on worn tires, defending drivers, even forcing Jonathan Holmes into a mistake at turn 1. He made it very difficult to overtake. So hopefully he can prove that he's got the pace. Maybe not the quali pace, but the race pace for Go Speed.
Yeah, and in the end, that's where it's all about. I mean, no driver would like to start 20th and then have the fastest race pace for everyone. But it's definitely not a lost race starting from 11th position.
Let's round down the championship quickly before the race begins. The Drivers' Championship sees Bojov first with 90 points, followed by Klopp on 61, and then Jonathan Holmes is third on 58. And then we have Falcon, Kweekel, Swerkus, Campus, and Carlos Hernandez in 8th, Guglielmino Matti 9th, and Dimitri Zaharos tied in 10th with about 5 other drivers. And then in the Constructors of the Teams Championship, we got Go Speed in 1st, followed by Twister, Faster Than Speed, So it's very close between Ghostspeed and Twister, and they've got a lot of entries in today. It seems that Twister's much higher up there, though Ghostspeed's struggling throughout qualifying. Other than, of course, Jorik Bergerov's pole position, but his teammates struggling in 11th and 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it might have been a slower lap and not the lap he wanted. I mean, we all know the feeling, except the very few, who that you practice for your quali lap and you are 5/10 off in the official qualifying, and it's frustrating. But yeah, let's see where these drivers can finish. Of course, we still have a complete race in front of us, races, I should say. So it's showing it's a promising day today for Formula Sim Racing to have some action on the track.
Yeah, and warm up now, so the drivers are going to add their 130 litres of fuel around that mark for this 60% distance race of the World Championship event. So that's going to be 34 laps. And time to get a feel, and I think most drivers qualified on the softs in Q2. Yeah. So bolt on those tyres and get going, get some practice in. You got 8 minutes until the start of the race here.
Indeed, and what a race it's going to be. I'm really excited about this race purely because the track allows the overtaking. Of course, we have the DRS. Fortunately, I think I can say we don't have the curse, otherwise it would be a little bit too much, in my opinion. But there are some nice overtaking maneuvers here. Like I said earlier, in the first corner, you have a lot of apexes. You don't have one apex you should aim for. So if you take a wider line through the first part of corner 1, you can come underneath in the second part. I'm not sure if the dirty air will allow this, but let's see how the drivers can cope with it.
Should be an exciting race once again. You know what else I'm excited for, Chris?
Tell me.
The FSR Fantasy League, which is now open, thanks to Christian Smirnoff for getting that underway. Competition will start around, I think it's round 4 at Imola, and just visit fantasy.formula-simracing.net to sign up, and good prizes there as well. I think the winners of each round and the full season get a Thrustmaster Y250C headset. So get going, get involved, and it should be good fun.
I almost thought you were going to say we'll get a Thrustmaster T500 F1, but we're not yet in that sponsorship. Might be in the future. At the moment, people are getting some times in the warm-up session. It's nice to see the pace of Rens Klopp, who is only 9/10 shy of a 39. He's at 40.009, half a second off the go speed of Falcon. Of course, these times are relatively meaningless, but it already shows that Klopp has the pace to, to not look in his mirrors often this race. It's good to see that go speed still has the pace, and Campus now with 41.1 is on the also on the soft tire. So definitely some gaps there in the race strategy.
Yeah, and also Bergerov's work was on the 40.0, but I think these times are a bit. They definitely could go a lot faster. They're just getting used to the fuel at the moment. But Bergerov, a 40.2, maybe his race pace is slightly slower, but he's got track position in in first place. So it's not impossible to overtake, but it is difficult. Maybe he can hold that off for 34 laps.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we see some nice racing here, and of course there will be action on the back straight, 1.3 kilometer back straight, I believe. And well, it's a basic layout for overtaking. You have a long straight, you have one chicane, and after that you have a straight as well. And of course they can use DRS the corner after again on the main straight. So a lot of speed boosts here.
Yeah, plenty of speed boost. The back straight is I think the longest straight on the calendar this year at FSR, so it's around 1/5 of the track distance at Shanghai. This track is also interesting. It's inspired. The layout was inspired by the Chinese letter Shang, and quite fitting that it's in Shanghai. So Herman Tilke's designed that pretty smartly and pretty intriguing to know.
Yeah. I don't think as our drivers we are as fan of Tilke, but I think in China and Malaysia he did a pretty good job. Turkey was a nice track as well, but of course that has been removed off the calendar ages ago. We don't have a fully filled Tilke circuit calendar. Fortunately we have Suzuka as well, and a lot more other tracks that don't have the typical Tilke design with one corner, you know, 270 degrees to the left or to the right, as you see in every Tilke track. But
it does help a little bit with overtaking, but it gets a bit boring knowing that almost every truck you go to will be similar. That's the challenge that tracks that maybe like Suzuka bring. But it doesn't mean that this track is any less exciting. It's still great, fun to race on.
It is, and the tire degradation will play a hard part. The first corner is demanding. Also, in the beginning of the second sector, you have the fast left and right-hander. If you push through there, you will see your tire temperatures rise up right to the point that they overheat, and getting a little bit off your throttle pedal will increase the life of the tires dramatically. So it's using your head during the stint, but it's kind of hard when you're under pressure by a lot of drivers, of course. So let's see how the drivers cope with this.
Yeah, and something else that a driver's going to have to cope with is the pit lane entry, which is very unique at China. And I saw Klopp making a practice run in there, and there's no grip, there's no rubber on the pit entry line. He went off almost into the gravel, into the wall, and his pit box as well is one of the first ones. So he's going to be very slow entering that pit box, so it could lose him a lot of time come the race.
On the pit stop, I think we shouldn't ask Lewis Hamilton how he fancies this pit lane, like we saw in 2007. But definitely, you can make a mistake there, and also the exit line is pretty small compared to others. And well, let's see what drivers will do. One stop, maybe a two stop.
If the front runners are fast enough, a two-stop will work, but a one-stop generally seemed to be the winning strategy first two rounds. Also, drivers have been obviously working hard to get their strategy right, but also working hard to find a few tenths in the past few weeks of practice. But it sounds easy just for a few, but in reality it's not so much.
It is not so much, and well, let's just see what the drivers will do. We are moving to the race in a few seconds, so we're all getting hyped up for the start of this Grand Prix. Let's just hope, for God's sake, that there will not be any incidents, or let alone major incidents, during turn one.
Hopefully not. I mean, it's the first sequence of corners is very difficult. Obviously, you're gonna have to watch drivers left, right, even if you get a great start here as well, you're gonna have cars. I think yesterday we had 4 wide in Ace, so which actually we managed all pretty well to get through there almost. There was a few incidents. I think I was involved in one unfortunate incident, but hopefully none of that today. And I think Berger crossed the line in warm-up for 39.9 on, was it worn tyres? No, it was a fresh lap. But he's just showing Klopp that, no, he's still there. He's still got the pace to match Klopp.
Yeah, definitely. Only 39 in this session here. But he's showing to Klopp, like, you're not going to get away with this easy like you did last time. Of course, it wasn't easy, but he was able to get a substantial gap every lap in with 2 tenths, 3 tenths, and that translates into a lot of seconds during the course of the race. And I believe he won the race last time in Malaysia with 17 seconds, a gap like that, 16 seconds. So yeah. Okay, as we are advancing to the grid, everybody is lined up, pumped up for the third race of the FSR Pro calendar. we are going through a grid walk, I could say. Would you mind taking us to the top 10, Johnny?
So at pole position, we saw a terrific job from Bojov once again for Go Speed in first place. Klopp follows closely behind for second, and his Twister teammate is in third, Jonathan Holmes, who starts on the clean side of the grid, the rubbered line. So it'll be interesting to see him fight through that first sequence of corners. Daniel Brewer's in fourth for Avid Chronic. Nice job for him as well. Faster than speed driver Mikko Swokos is in fifth. Christoph Schor is in sixth place, followed by Thomas Kriala, Victor Ivanov in eighth. The next row is Clayton Nelmes, Mike Partington, and Chris, run down the rest of the grid from 11th onwards.
Of course, there's on 11th place Sebastian Velosa from the Phoenix Project Racing. Jeroen Kwekel on a relatively unfortunate spot finds himself in 12th place. Alessio Campus in 13th. Adrian Falcon in 14th. Jordi Salvat is in 15th. George Winter in 16th. James Sadler, also from Go Speed, in 17th. Rando Tam is at 18th position. Edward Corre from Night Racing is in 19th. Dmitry Zaharov on 20th place. Dewald Nel on 21st. Jose Dominguez in 22nd position. Vigalo Vicentiev, if I pronounced it correctly, is in 23rd. Victor Marino in 24th. And Chris Knight in 25th. And at the last place of the grid is David Sedillo.
I think we had two drivers out. I think it was Sedillo and someone else in pre-qualifying, so maybe he's got some special circumstance where he's allowed to race.
Yeah.
And also mentioning that Zaharov is, I think, elected to start from the pit lane. I think someone else did that. Maybe he was the same guy in Malaysia who elected to do that. So I think he's gambling on maybe a big turn one incident to avoid that.
Definitely. And the one I'm actually looking forward to see the start is Jonathan Holmes. He got some nice starts in the earlier races, and well, he's starting in third place. So if he has a better start than the first two drivers, he can jump his teammate and Jorik Boshover before heading into the first turn.
Yeah, and we know Holmes has amazing race pace. Manages to tie as well. Remember, he even went off the track trying to pass Falcon and went back to 7th. I think with about, or I don't know what position went back to, but within about 10 laps, got onto the podium. So great job not to let his head down. As Bojov warming up the brakes nicely, and he slots in to that P1 grid slot. The nerves. What do the drivers go through in this situation, Chris?
Yeah, obviously the front runners are desperately waiting for the lights to come on, and they are already sitting on the grid for a lot of seconds. But the last car is about to get stationary, and we are waiting for the lights to come on now.
So those 5 red lights will illuminate the nerves. The adrenaline will be flowing throughout every driver as they prepare to scream towards turn 1. Here we go. We have 3, 4, 5 lights. The races go. Holmes gets away slowly, but there's a big accident in the back.
Massive carnage here. Oh my god. I would not be surprised if the director would red flag this at the moment. A lot of drivers have crashed together, and it's absolute mayhem. Also to the second corner, Falcon making contact with Pelosa. And the Netrex cars are getting pushed wide. On the first three guys, they don't have any forms of information about the incident. The top 3 is unchanged.
Top 3 is unchanged. Bojov's followed by Klopp. Holmes is behind. He had a poor start, but he maintains third. Brewer was right up his gearbox. And
sorry to interrupt you, but Jeroen Kwekel is driving really slowly. If we can go on board with him, he definitely has some suspension damage. So he has, well, his race is gone. It's sad to say, but his race is gone. Car is out of control, and if he makes a pit stop, I'm sure it's beyond any forms of repair.
Yeah, so we have Mike Partington's lost front wing. So is Victor Ivanov and David Chedilio. So is Rando Tam. Well, lots of drivers have damage. But the smart move was from Zaharov, who started from the pit lane. But as we go back to the front, nothing's really unchanged as everyone's set into their own little zone, and Bojov still leads.
Yeah,
from
and
Klopp. Oh, big moment coming out of the hairpin. Klopp's right onto the back. Final corner, no DRS, remember, still the first lap of the race. He comes across, and the gap will only be 0.3 of a second. So that mistake almost proved to be costly. But Klopp's just got to stay in the DRS zone, and he might be able to take this lead and run away with the race. But Holmes is behind. He's making his presence felt, and another second behind them is Brewer and Sorokas.
Yeah, and what a first lap this was. The carnage we prayed for that shouldn't happen actually did happen. This is definitely unfortunate for a lot of these drivers, but also gives a lot of opportunities for others. But at the moment it's Klopp pressuring Jorrit Boshoff for the first place. DRS is not available the first few laps, and let's see if he can get close enough so he can get it open the third lap.
Yeah, we have 6 drivers pitting at the moment. I think James Sadler had a great start. He's into 13th place. So did Jordi Salvadis, 12th. Coriala had a terrible start, but he's down in 11th. So something went wrong there. But Sadler's lost a few positions now. He's spun, unfortunately. So he's down back into 16th. Yeah. Back at the front, though. I think Klopp's right onto the back of Bojov.
Indeed, and he's definitely pressuring Boshoff. Boshoff going defensive here as Rens is forced to go to the outside, but does this nicely. And Boshoff gives him the room and gives him the respect on the track, which allows the drivers to continue in what a way. Definitely a nice battle going on here, only after 2 laps.
Oh, great racing. Holmes is there to capitalize, but he gets a bad run out of the last corner. So Klopp, can he run away with the lead here? And will that set the sight for the season? Maybe even run away with the title with his race pace. But
yeah,
it's still early days, as we said.
And Jonathan Holmes is eager to pass Jorrit Boshoff as well. It's nice for Klopp that he has a teammate that can help him. Because the pressure that's on Boshoff now from Jonathan Holmes is definitely keeping him looking in his rear mirrors. And if Rens can find some early pace now, he will create a gap bigger than 1 second.
Yep, all of the guys up to P11 are on softs. In P12 it's Edward Corre. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. That's he's on the hard tires, the orange branded cars.
Yeah. As Jeroen Kwekel has found himself back on the track, but is driving with a twitch steering wheel and has to steer almost completely to the right in order to get the car straight. I don't know if it's wise for him to continue this race, because he could get into the way, and his car is looking so unstable. He should get he should retire. Sorry to say, but this is not safe to race.
It's unfortunate for him because I mean, coming out of his last race was 5 weeks ago, and you're going to have to wait another 2 weeks for another good race. He's effectively out of any challenge for the lead, a minute and 20 seconds behind the leader. And I think Jose Dominguez and Victor Marino, only 2 retirements at the moment after all that carnage, surprisingly, only 2 retirements.
Definitely. As we are with the top 5 again, actually the top 8 is showing a nice train of cars there. Daniel Brewer, who obviously had the pace in Q1, didn't got a great lap into Q2, but it shows that he's not going to get run out by Jonathan Holmes. He's getting closer corner by corner at the moment. Mikko Sorokas and Schroer and Nelms behind that are following nicely as well.
Yeah, and quite fitting as well that the top 3 in this race are the top 3 in the championship, albeit in different orders. Bojov leads from Klopp, and then Holmes is in 3rd. That's the championship in the race. It's Klopp, Bojov, Holmes.
And this is what we all want to see, indeed, a major fight for the title here, and there is a lot of stake, of course.
Lots at stake, and also mentioned Daniel Brewer's now in 4th. last race, he had great quali pace. We never got to see his true race pace because he was stuck behind a lot of traffic. So
indeed,
today he's keeping up with the guys in front in the top 3.
Yeah, and according to the top speed charts with DRS open, Jonathan Holmes is ticking to 330 kilometers an hour. Twister showing amazing top speed, and Jorik Boshover following that with 320. So with DRS open, Twister does have that 10 kilometers advantage.
Could that be the mistake that might cost Bojov the win here? Is that top speed choice on the setup?
I think 320 is a good top speed here, and he obviously has the advantage of a better grip during the rest of the track. But with the effect of DRS, the differences will get magnified, and let's see if he can increase the gaps during the middle of the lap, so he can have a big enough gap to defend on the back straights.
Yeah, now I'm trying to think of this. He's gonna, if he's got almost no hope on the straights, he's gonna have to undercut somehow and pit. We're looking at the pit window of about like 10 to 14 for the soft. That's for a one stop, so he's gonna have to pit a couple laps early.
As Jeroen Kwekel stops and let the drivers pass, I hope he stops definitely, because his lap times are 1:55 at this moment. There's no point in competing at this moment if you're already getting lapped after four laps. Of course he had the incident, but it's just not safe to race with a car that got the damage he got.
Unfortunate. Let's go now with Clayton Nelmes. He's behind Christoph Schor, who also has DRS, from Mikko Sorkas in front. The top 4 have left Sorkas behind, and it's 2 small trains being formed. But Klopp isn't running away from Bojov as we thought he might would.
Yeah, he isn't, and well, this is what I would like to see and what I would like to say, because you know, we saw Vettel last year. That was not even fun anymore after a few corners. So let's see if the drivers can get into a fight, and let's see who wants it the most. We saw a great fight yesterday, unfortunately with a not so happy ending with Carlos Martin and Mohamed Patel, but yeah, definitely an exciting thing to watch.
That hairpin turn, it just produces overtakes. Oh, I think that's Victor Ivanov just went off the track to get away from Klopp in front to make sure he didn't block or anything like that. Nelmes now is running behind a little bit. He got past by Christoph Schor finally. So I think Nelmes has that downforce because he's making it work in the corners, but on the straights he's struggling slightly.
He is, and it's nice to see that Daniel Brewer is catching up with Jonathan Holmes and the rest of the pack, as Mikko Sorkas has to well, let go of. As Falcon gets behind Thomas Coriala at this moment, he will definitely be able to pass him if he can get the DRS open.
Falcon now, he's close. His top speed's around 3, reaching 324 now on the limiter. He's not close enough.
Yeah, the Netflix is showing to have a great top speed at the moment.
Great top speed. It's unfortunate for the Spaniard. Falcon. Maybe next up. He's got a second DRS zone. I think that was Coriala running wide, but didn't lose much time. Must have just been a bit of lag that I'm seeing over here. And it's still the front 4's unchanged, no action there. Then we got a small train, Nelmes, Schor and Camper. So the groups are being formed at the moment throughout the field. Getting a bit of feel for who's challenging for the lead and who's not.
Indeed, and I'm eager to see what Clayton Nelms and Christopher Schroer can do, because Nelms is showing some promising pace in this early stage of the race. And will he be able to go and make life harder for Mikko Sorkas in the FTS car?
Might be able to. I'll tell you who else is making life hard is Daniel Brewer for Jonathan Holmes. Holmes made a mistake, lost a bit of traction. coming onto the straight now, and
and there's Falcon. Falcon is off.
Falcon's fine. Yep.
Is able to rejoin the track, but he definitely sustained some damage there as Jordi San Andreas Salvat is going past, and they make contact. Falcon, what are you doing, mate? As Coriana collides into him as well. Massive chaos here. And it was Adrian Falcon rejoining the track. Obviously he has the responsibility of keeping things safe, but definitely not what he wanted, and of course he didn't do it with any purpose. But Eduard Corre is able to pass him as well now.
Looking at the replay, I think, I'm not sure who was at fault, but in the braking zone they just ran out of room between Jordi and Adrian Falcon, and then I think Coriala was just a victim in that incident, went to pass both of them on the inside, and then he got caught up, but he ran across the grass and managed to, I think Falcon's in the pits now, so it might have a bit of damage from that.
That's really unfortunate, and I have to correct what I said earlier, but in my opinion it was the car of San Andres who made the contact, so sorry for that, Go Speed. But yeah, it's for Carlos Martin, the admin, to decide. But what a crash is this race.
A bit of unlikely action I wasn't expecting to see, especially through that corner. All started by the spin of Adrian Falcon. But now the field's spread out more. There's no one really straight onto the back of someone. I think the closest is Christoph Schor onto the back of Nelmes now. Nelmes has a slow run onto the straight, big slide through that long radius right-hander, and I think Schor might have a chance now.
He might.
Flicks on the DRS, top speed gradually increasing, although we've seen Christoph Schor throughout the season as opts for more wing and less top speed, almost gets to him, but the straight runs out. He has to start braking.
Yeah,
6 Gs. 6 Gs are braking in real life, but obviously these sim races, I think we're, how many? 0 Gs?
1 G. We're living at 1 G actually, but that's okay. As the race is 8 laps young, Rens Klopp is having a 1.6 second gap now to Jorik Boshoven, as Christopher Knight gets away away nicely out of the racing line for the leaders of the race. Behind that, it's still Nelms and Schroer who giving each other a hard time, and Campus eager to join that fight after a little bit unfortunate qualify for him. Big lockup for Mikko Suokas, by the way. And Daniel Brewer is looking forward to join Jonathan Holmes on the back straight now. He's inching closer lap by lap, and he will get the DRS now. If we can just go on board with Daniel Brewer, and we might see an overtake maneuver. But remember, the Twister racing car has a great top speed.
Well, have a look at Abercronic's top speed. Oh, terrific run out of that corner by Holmes, and he's got top speed as well, so I think there's just no hope for Brewer unless he's running some sort of Hold Hockenheim setup from the early 2000s, hit about 300 and 400 kilometers an hour, which he doesn't get.
Well, 400 is a bit too much. I believe the speed record was measured by Williams in 2002 with Montoya, reaching 376.
Yeah, that was at Monza, I think.
Yeah, it was. And Jorik Boshoven pits. He's in the pits. Let's see how he can rejoin this track and at what tire he will rejoin the track. He's standing still now, and he is on the harder compound. Reasonably good pit stop for him.
Good pit stop, and he's doing what I recommended. Was he's not going to have any chance to pass those twister cars on the straight, so he's opted for the undercut. This is where Klopp's going to have to react, or can he get the job done again on track?
If Klopp has the right amount of life in his tires, he can push a few more laps and create a gap. Jorik Boshoven now on the harder tire can do better lap times than Klopp if he get the temperatures working. But at the moment I think it's Jorik Boshoven Yeah, who might have lost a little bit too much of his tires in this early stage, because we're all just 8 laps young in this race.
Yeah, and also have a look at Berjov's now as he comes across to the end of Sector 2. So Klopp's done a 30.3. Berjov does a 30.3 as well. So those worn soft tires seem to be holding well for Rens Klopp.
Yeah, he has. As Alessio Campos is taking a look on Christopher Schroer on the back straight, but isn't close enough to make a move. And now the field is pitting. Rens Klopp is in the pits, followed by Jonathan Holmes. The Twister racing cars pitting at the exact same time. Let's see if it makes life any worse for them. It does not. And Daniel Brewer now in the lead of this race. So reasonably early pit stops in this race.
I think Berjov might take the lead from Klopp. Klopp was slow getting away from his box. So no, Klopp's got away well. That was my bad. So Klopp's still maintaining the effective lead. Brewer hasn't pitted yet, although his sector times seem reasonable.
Yeah, and the tire choices for them are the same. Boshoff is on the hard, Rens Klopp is on the hard tire as well. And Jonathan Holmes is in 7th place now, also on the hard tire. And he has Thomas Coriala in front of him, who doesn't yet pitted. Who hasn't yet pitted, sorry there.
I think Brewer should come in now. He's losing a lot of time, maybe a second a lap to those fresh hard tires. So he's going to have to come in now. But if he doesn't, he's got a slight gap behind, a slight break to Mikko Swarkas, who's pitted as well. So
yeah, let's see what he can do with this position. His times are really stable. I wouldn't be surprised if Brewer would continue.
So Holmes right onto the back of Coriala. Oh, Coriala's struggling for traction, and Holmes, this will be a straight candy from a baby pass on the straight. It's going to flick on the DRS as he comes across the zone now, and Coriala doesn't bother to defend.
No,
so
it will only lose time. Thomas Coriala using his brain here and letting Jonathan Holmes pass on the pressure tires.
Yeah, so Nelmes pits, but Brewer continues in the lead. Score follows Nelmes as well, and Klopp now in 2nd. So yeah, as we said, still waiting for Daniel Brewer to pit, but he's 15 seconds in front, so he's going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, as Coriala just went into the pits.
Has to pit with those worn softs, so that
yeah.
Oh, Sadler spun entering the pit lane entry, unfortunately. He's blocking the pit lane entry. This will be interesting for whoever comes to pit. Luckily no one does. He has to do almost maybe a 7-point turn.
Yeah, James Sadler doing a Lewis Hamilton there. And well, obviously it's a hard pit lane, so no offense to him. Interesting to see Daniel Brewer is continuing with his stint, and not unsuccessfully, because he just put up a 41.5. Which is a nice pace after 11 laps, and his first sector again it's fast, and his second sector is almost the fastest of this entire stint for him. So I'm sure he will not enter the pits again, and he can create a big gap now.
What's tricky for him though is that the tires are working well for him now, but electing to go on to it's in a difficult situation because the hard tires are faster, but as I said, the soft tires are still working for him, so he's a bit of a Mickey Mouse situation.
The thing here is that Rens Klopp and the other guys behind that who are following Daniel, who just made their pit stop, are already degrading and wearing off their tires. Of course, the tire compound has a longer lifespan, but Daniel Brewer will already have the advantage of pressure tires during the middle stint of this race, as we are 12 laps young. Those 3 laps now, or how many laps it will be, because he hasn't yet pitted, will only increase in the future.
Yeah, and Score got past Campus in the meantime at the hairpin, but then Campus ran wide in the last corner, and Score ran wide in the last corner, and Campus got back through. And I think that Score he's on the soft tires, so I think he might be two-stopping here.
Yeah, he might be, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the top do this as well if I see people coming in after 9 laps. Sebastian Velosa now into the pits, and he also makes a mistake there, touching the grass, but didn't lose a lot of time there.
Back at the front, Brewer's slowly losing time. Now he's only got a 13-second lead to Klopp, so effectively Brewer's I think in 5th place at the moment, so he's lost that 4th position to Mikko Swarkas. But he's got to pit soon to cover off Campos, Score and Nelmes in 6th, 7th and 8th. And he will have. He comes in.
And the leader of the race is pitting after doing 2 more laps of 41.5s that are almost identical. He decides to pit. Obviously, Rens Klopp will jump him, but like I said earlier, Daniel Brewer has the advantage of fresher tires.
Exactly, fresher tires, and it will help come the end of the race when you're going to be battling for those final spots. And I think he's not that bad. Swarkas is coming across the start-finish line now, and I think Brewer might get him.
Oh,
which he does.
Yeah, he does. And well, Daniel Brewer was obviously in 4th position before the pit stops of the top 3 at the moment. But it seems like Mikko Swarkas closed the gap a little bit towards him. But interesting to see now if that 3-lap or 4-lap window that Daniel Brewer has with the fresher tires can translate into some nice catching up. At the moment, it's Rens Klopp who takes the lead with a 4-second margin to Jorik Boshoven, with Holmes behind there with another 3 seconds. So the top 4, 5 are starting to edge out a lot.
Starting to edge out a real hell of a lot, and Brewer is catching Holmes already. 2/10 faster in the middle sector, slightly faster coming out of the pits. So that, as you said, fresher tires could pay off, and we'll see how he gets these early life. We'll see if he closes the gap using the early life of these tires.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate he's stuck behind the twister car of Jonathan Holmes. It's going to be very difficult to pass, knowing their top speed and knowing how consistent Holmes is.
Yeah, and because of the crashes we saw in the early part of the race. Oh, as I interrupt myself, because Campos is taking a look on Nelms, but just taking a look. And Campos, Nelms and Schroer fighting for the best of the rest position on to 6th. And Schroer at the moment having the best of them.
And looking down the field, so as we quickly just round out the retired cars, we mentioned Victor Marino and Jose Dominguez on lap 1, and we still have Victor Ivanov, who's retired, and David Chidilio. And Jeroen Kweekel's running around with a very damaged car, trying to get some classified points. You still get points as a classified finisher, so important to not quit the race early and still get some important championship points where you can.
Yeah, I have respect for that, and he's constantly correcting the car because the suspension damage is almost undrivable, and you see it at his lap times. I just hope he doesn't get any accidents because of that. But coming back to the leaders now, Rens Klopp is well edging out the gap he has over Jorik Boshoven with 4.3 seconds now, and also has a top speed advantage even without DRS. So it's Jorik Boshoven who has to answer now. Either Rens Klopp is going for a second stop with a medium tire, which I suspect, and Jorik Boshoven might say to himself, okay, I cannot match Rens Klopp in pace, maybe I can beat him using another strategy. Oh, and there is a back marker between Jorik Boshoven, yeah, but he crashed.
Ooh. Looking
Chris Knight
at the Chris Knight was getting out of the way. Lucky he didn't interrupt this battle. But Bergerov's on a 41.6 and Klopp's a 41.0. So a bit of a Malaysia rerun. But what else we should something else we should follow, sorry, is Brewer and Holmes. Brewer's catching Holmes, so that late pit stop paid off, didn't lose any position, and now he could gain one out of it.
Indeed, but he's getting under pressure. Oh, and there is Chris Knight again, causing a bit of chaos there. But what I wanted to say is that Mikko Sokas from Faster Than Speed is following closely on Brewer, and Knight now going out of the way yet again. And this is the problem when you are a backmarker, you lose so much time, and it's of course not what he wants. As Christopher, Chris Knight off the track now.
I'm looking at Chris Knight. It's got a lot of damage, but I think I should go back to where the racing is happening.
It is because Rens Klopp is racing his lungs out of his body. He's steadily increasing the gap with half a second a lap, and it definitely shows that Rens Klopp is making more of these tires than Boshoff is doing at the moment. But let's see what strategies they are on. If we continue at this rate, I'm sure Daniel Brewer from Precision will catch Jonathan Holmes, or at least get an attempt in. Yeah, Brewer now with a 41.2, and that is a reply to the 41.3 to Jonathan Holmes. But he is having the better line.
I had a bit of an issue there. Sorry about that.
Welcome back then. Unfortunate you're back. Let's see now if Daniel Brewer can get close enough to make life harder in the DRS zone. At this moment he is only 4/10 behind Jonathan Holmes. So let's see if the Precision has the top speed that can give them the place. If Jonathan Holmes cannot deploy his DRS, he has the top speed of 310, 311. So yeah, let's see what will happen.
I believe I am back.
Yes, you are back. You are back, mate. And I hope everything is working fine there. Alright, as we are entering the back straight, if we could go on board with Daniel Brewer, is he able to close the gap towards Jonathan Holmes? Jonathan already going to the middle of the track saying, I'm not gonna give you this for free, but goes back again and realizes that the gap is way too big to make any overtaking attempt at that particular moment. But Brewer definitely in there and pushing a lot. He definitely wants a podium here, and you can't prove him wrong. He got the pit. So
pushing a lot. He's right onto the back of Holmes now. So yeah, he is making up the time. I've missed that battle since I had my issues, and so yeah, I think I'm having a second look. Is Holmes on the soft, or is that just me looking at his tires?
No, that's the hard tire. As we said earlier, the complete top 5 actually fitted with hards. The only of the first guy who's on soft, that's Christopher Schroer in 6th spot, and he definitely will go for another stop after this, because we are halfway the race. We have done 17 laps, and we have 17 laps to go, and well, let's just hope we will see less crashes the second part of the race. Let's put it like that.
Let's hope we see clean racing, and I think Brewer is coming onto the back of Holmes, the Avid Chronic racing car. Holmes, he might have a shot at Holmes right at the moment. Good traction. He is on the hard tire. The twister car, sorry, that was my mistake. And behind him, he's not going to get close to Holmes, remember, but behind him I think that is Rando Tam, who's improving his pace. He's much faster than Brewer and Holmes as well. So Rando Tam might have to unlap himself, which I hope he doesn't. This battle is very crucial to the results of the race.
I don't think he will interfere, but it's good to see that he's found some base back into his car. Let's see if Daniel Brewer can get an attempt in this time. But it's so hard, and it's not visible during the broadcast. But the drivers know it's so hard to follow the cars into the fast corners because of the dirty air. It's so hard to line up for that attempt.
Yeah, going on board with Daniel Brewer now, we'll watch through this fast section. He's close to Holmes now, but slight, not too much understeer actually. Maybe he's running a bit more downforce than Holmes, so he will get away with it slightly. But yeah, so it's a smart move at the moment by Twister with the higher top speed.
Yeah, and I think Christopher Schroer will get an attempt in on Mikko Suokas. Like I said earlier, Christopher Schroer is on the softer compound, Mikko Suokas is on the hard compound, and Schroer has the effect of DRS. As Jonathan Holmes goes off the track and definitely loses out on top speed, will this be the moment Daniel Brewer has been waiting for? He's lining up with the DRS open. Jonathan does not close the door, but Daniel Brewer cannot outbrake the Twister racing car of Holmes. But a scary moment there for Jonathan.
Very scary moment, and big confidence from the man I call the consistency man, who somehow knew that he lost top speed but didn't even bother to defend, had confidence in his late braking skills, and keeps that position, keeps that final podium spot, and hope to extend his P3 advantage in the championship as well.
Yeah, as Christopher Schroer pits now. Let's see what tire he will go on. It's the hard compound, and he will finish the race on this with 15 laps to go. And Thomas Coriala will make life miserable for Schroer into the first corner. No, Schroer is way ahead. As Clayton Nelms is starting to show defensive lines because the Netrix car of Alessio Campos is behind him. Alessio Campos, we haven't seen him a lot during this race. We are expecting a lot of things now after we see after we have seen the podium, but he's making progress during the.
Yeah, and I think Campos qualified outside of the top 10. Yeah, unfortunately, but discreetly making his way through the field. He's in P7 at the moment, and I think Holmes is catching Berjov as well, so this is going to be even more interesting. Maybe a Twister 1-2 come the end of the race. It
could be this way. It's sad to say, but I think Jorik Boshoff, because he pitted as the first of the front runners, I believe he has the hardest time on the tire degradation. And as I say that, he pits, makes a little bit contact to the grass in the pit lane, and let's see if he can get a good pit stop in, and then let's see where it drops him. And
that's
it will.
I
think he will go to the he will go to the soft tire. So he's looking for 14 laps on this tire, as he gets company from the precision car of. Let's see. Oh no, that wasn't a precision car. Sorry.
That was Jorg Winter, I believe. I think, yeah. Oh, it's an unknown car on my screen.
Yeah.
So
either way, Rens Klopp in the Twister is catching up to back markers and catching up fast. And Twister in control of this race at the moment. The only person at this moment who can make life miserable for the Twister guys is Daniel Brewer in the precision.
So yeah, I mean Berjov, he's trying a two-stopper now. He's on the soft tire, the faster tire, but Klopp is on the back straight now, who's in effectively the lead, and Berjov's trying what Mohammed Patel did yesterday for the ace win, and that was that two-stop strategy. And almost carbon copy. He pitted on the same lap as well. I believe that was 19-20, and he's got Nelmes to dispose of first in front of him, and then he's going to slowly make his way through each driver in front.
As the leader of the race pits, Rens Klopp enters the pits, and will Jonathan Holmes follow him? No, he will not, and he will continue to go on in this stint. So a two-stopper here for Twister Racing, and I would not be surprised to see Daniel Brewer join in that strategy.
I wouldn't be surprised for Brewer to show up, but I'd like to know if Holmes is potentially going to try to hold out and one-stop, as Mika Swakos is into the pits as well. So Klopp comes out, and Bozhov is way far behind.
Yeah, I think both Jonathan Holmes and Daniel Brewer will pit this lap, because with 13 laps to go, the window is open to finish the race with new soft tires. And even if you have the tire advantage of 2 or 3 laps now, during the end of the race, it would not matter that much, because you can defend for a few laps. So let's see what Jonathan Holmes and Daniel Brewer will do. Bosco now on the back of Clayton Nelms, but he's trapped into the dirty air, but on fresher tires than Nelms. I would not be surprised if he passes him before the DRS even. Oh, but makes a mistake there, Boshoven. Oh, and Christopher Shore was spun.
Yep.
Shore was spun and re-enters the track. Thomas Coriala will not get caught out by a track on the. Oh, and he spins again. I think there's something wrong with his car. As Alessio Campos now passes his teammate Thomas Coriala, because Coriala had to brake obviously, and Schroer in big problems.
That's unfortunate for Schroer, because
it is.
He's looking bright for a good finish, but Bozhov's right at the back of Nelmis, couldn't get the pass done. That straight line speed is really going to cost him. So Holmes pits, as we said. Brewer is still going long. Remember, Brewer pitted later than normal. Maybe he can one-stop, or maybe he is still going to follow with the two-stop and be safe.
Yeah, well, either way, if he wants to win this race, he will have to go for a one-stop. But because he's losing out now, lap by lap, second by second, it's not only tense as Brewer passes a spun back marker there. But even if he doesn't pit in 12 laps, I think Rens will close the gap. Rens on the medium, on the softer compound now, in the fresh tire, a new set of tires. He's closing in with seconds a lap.
Yeah, closing in very fast. So Brewer's going to have to perform some kind of miracle to keep himself in front of Rens Klopp. It could be interesting. It could pay off, but I doubt it will, as you said. And it's an interesting move by Klopp. Maybe he was. I'm just like to know if they were intending to one-stop, but he thought he could cover off Bozhov.
Yeah, and if we can go on board with Boshoven, we will see that Nelms has a lot of problems with exiting his car, and he's only losing time at the moment, struggling with a guy on fresher tires. Boshoven now with the DRS open. Nelms still shows a defensive line. Boshoven from the outside already passes him before the corner and easily makes the move stick for that third place.
Nice in the bank move for Jorik Bozhov, and behind him Holmes in that after the long right-hander ran wide coming out. Lucky he didn't do a bit of a Mark Webber and fly upside down. Yeah. So he lives for another day and continues. There's a bit of damage at the hairpin, a bit of debris. I'm not sure who that's from. But hopefully none of the drivers hit that, because when you do hit the debris in these cars, sometimes you can get a bit of damage and send yourself into a spin.
As Parlington pits, and let's see, Coriala pits as well.
Coriala's covering. Oh, him and Partington collide in the pits. Oh, very close. Luckily, I don't think there's many damage. Coriala might have a long pit stop if he's got damage. No, he doesn't. Quick pit stop. So as Adrian effectively gets away with that.
Adrian Falcon is looking for a 13th spot and steals it away. And is now... Oh, but he outbrakes himself, and Velosa is able to cut across. Cut underneath him again.
Cuts underneath him, but Holmes is now right onto the back of Clayton Nelmis. Hopefully his exit out of this corner is not off the track. He's very close to Nelmis. Has to back out slightly. And he's going to have DRS.
Yeah, he will obviously make the pass, but this lost him a lot of time. And also Clayton Nelms.
Both cost some time, but Holmes makes a move 6, so he's in a 4th now. So maybe Brewer, he continues, is going for the win and going for the one stop. If it doesn't work out, I think Brewer will end up finishing 4th anyway. So it's not a bad risk he's taking.
Well, if I think with 10 laps to go and the gap closing second by second for Rens, he's already he's not going to continue with this pace. Klopp on fresher tires, and he's catching him in 5 laps at this pace and at this rate. And if he pits now, Daniel Brewer that is, he will come back in 4th or 5th spot, I believe, maybe even 6th.
Yeah, I think he's lost that spot to Swerkus, who's also pitted for faster tyres. So I think he's waited too long to make that pit stop. He's going to have to just fight it out on old worn tyres. And I think, as you said, Klopp will probably catch him in about 5 laps time, but maybe these softer tyres will wear out before the end of the race. I doubt it.
No, I think Rens Klopp knows what he's doing at the moment. He has shown that in the last races, and he's already in the rear view mirror of Daniel Brewer, be it a little bit far away. Still, if Brewer pits now, I'm really surprised, really curious to see where he will. He doesn't pit. He doesn't pit.
I think that's Falcon has got past Jordi San Andreas, maybe?
Yeah,
yes, he has,
San Andreas,
outside of turn 1.
San Andreas with a small dive bomb there, but doesn't make the move stick. Adrian Falcon back in that 11th place, and smart driving there from the go speed of Falcon.
Smart driving, and remember, he's great defending at Malaysia. Unfortunately, he's in 11th spot, and he gets the...
As Chris Knight blocks the way up.
I think Brozov's made a mistake as Holmes almost peeks up the inside, gives Brozov a bit of a worry in his mirrors.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Jonathan Holmes, the Jensen Button of the Pro Series, Mr. Consistency, and he's shown that he has better control of his tire degradation than Jorik Boshoven. I would not be surprised if Holmes gets the 3rd place from Boshoven.
Wouldn't be surprised, and remember, he's got the top speed. He can easily make that move stick, and effectively they'll be 2nd and 3rd for Twister. Remember, Daniel Brewer is definitely one-stopping at the moment. I don't think it will hold out for him. Klopp's about 2 seconds behind now, so he will take the lead sometime soon. And as the lapped car gets out of the way, just for Klopp.
But there's a 12-second gap between the 2nd and 3rd place, so he might aim for a podium.
I think Swerkus gets past Nelmes as well at the hairpin. So Nelmes, has he pitted since he's been struggling on his tyres? I think he did. But he's struggling even more. He's in 6th now.
He still had to, because he didn't went on the harder compound yet, I believe. So he's now on the harder compound and finishing this race, be it in 6th position, but with fresh tyres. And Schroer now dropped back to 8th.
Drop back to 8th, but Holmes now, he's almost on the inside of Brozov. Brozov's struggling really. He's struggling a lot. And Holmes could blister into this corner. Just scream into it. Brozov defends up the inside. Holmes goes for the outside. Can't make the stick. He's going to undercut him. He's going to get the traction out of the corner. They're side by side going into the fast left-hander. Brozov slots behind. I think Holmes has the move stick, and he does. Yeah. So he's got the final podium spot.
He has, and brilliant driving there from the Twister racing car of Jonathan. And Jorik Boshoven has to let go, unfortunately for him. But he's not on the same pace, unfortunately.
No, but then Klopp now, you want to call it, Chris, he's got the higher top speed, but he's a bit far behind.
He is, but he will get him these next few laps. And Daniel Brewer might have expected this and is aiming for a second place here. And with a one-stop strategy, that's really would be a really nice result.
So Klopp's got DRS on the front straight. Remember, 2 DRS zones at China.
He won't even defend. I'm sure he won't even defend.
Up the inside lets him take the lead. So Klopp is our leader once again, and much expected for him to take that lead again with the 2-stop strategy. Nice work, Renz Klopp. Now Brewer's got to keep up the pace because Holmes and Bojov, as we said, they're accelerating fast with their. I don't know if they've hidden some turbo because they're catching him very, very fast.
Yeah, as Daniel Brewer now consistently in the 41.7, 41.5. However, the Twister racing car of Jonathan Holmes is getting close with 1 second, 1.5 seconds a lap. He's now in the 40.5. So let's see if he can keep going. And Brewer might make a mistake. Things are possible, but it will be a hard job for Jonathan.
Hopefully he doesn't run off into the gravel like he did in Malaysia. But remember, he did keep his head up, and that's what you got to do in these final laps. No matter what happens in your race, it's a long race. Keep your head up and get as much points as you can. He finished on the podium after going off the track, and that's an example for you aspiring drivers watching who want to challenge in FSR, is that you've got to commit yourself, got to dedicate yourself to a lot of hard work.
Definitely.
And that's exactly what our leader Renz Klopp has done. As he's coming across the start-finish line now for 6 laps to go.
And Renz Klopp joined FSR some years ago, already a fast driver, but after years of practice, it's nice to see for him it pays off with a top team now, and definitely making the work of his potential.
Make some great work, and that's what it takes. I mean, you've got to commit yourself, get some good time as well, and obviously you're not going to spend hours and hours upon end each day dedicating your life to it, but every now and then, bit of practice, bit of work, and you'll find yourself running up the front with these guys. So and as we watch Mikko Swerkus, who's catching Bojov. Bojov's struggling, surprisingly. He's using his tyres a lot more. Unfortunate for him. I thought he might have been able to take the win, and now he's struggling. Probably finish around 5th.
Yeah, it's fair to say that Boshoven has the hardest trouble on the tires during this race of the top guys, and it's definitely going to cost him. Nevertheless, he's still driving a great race, and well, in the dark a bit, Mikko Swerkus, we haven't seen a lot of him during this race, but he has been there and steadily aiming for a 4th place here.
Be a great 4th place for Swerkus. He's in 6th in the championship. This 4th place will bring him up to 4th in the championship behind Bojov, Klopp and Holmes. So a nice solid result if he manages to pass Bojov.
Yeah.
Brewer, as well, as we talked, is keeping that 2nd position. So the one-stop strategy seemingly paying off at the moment, but obviously 5 laps to go. No, sorry, 5 laps to go. So his tires can go off at any moment.
Yeah, Daniel Brewer just did a 41.7. Jonathan Holmes replying with a 39.4. So taking 2.50 seconds out of that lap alone. Interesting to see.
Now Swerkus is right onto the back. He's gaining a lot. I think this move will happen eventually. It's just bound to happen soon. And,
yeah, the only thing Yorick can do in corners like he is and now is showing a defensive line by decreasing the gap that drivers can dive into there.
And he's got to up his pace too, because Alessio Campos is following closely behind them. He's catching both of them. Obviously Swerkus is getting affected by the dirty air, so Campos is running around like Speedy Gonzalez and catching both of them closely. He might even get DRS on this next straight, Campos. That's how close he is behind. And This will be interesting now. See if Swerkus has the top speed. Remember, Bozhov has 320, not bad. See if Faster Than Speed, who are noted for having some nice top speeds.
Yeah, let's see if Swerkus can get closer here. Does have the DRS open. And does get a tenth or two out of him. And really breaks later. Swerkus here showing he has fresher tires. And Alessio Campus now joining into that battle with Swerkus and George Boshoven. He might show a nice tail of this race by challenging, well, maybe even for 4.
Right up there, so it's around the same gap, although Swerkus is a lot closer this time around. So 4 laps to go, still possible. Just gotta keep your head in there, keep concentration. You get a lot nervous. I mean, it's sim racing, but you still get very nervous not to make any mistakes. And I thought he had a bit of a spin. That was my lag there.
Well, fortunately it was your leg. We have seen the spins today. So Mikko Swerkus now getting a little bit further away, also because of the dirty air and this fast part of the track. Alessio Campus showing that he has less problems with that and closing in on Swerkus now. So Swerkus has to watch out he doesn't lose the 5th spot while he was just battling with Bosso for 4th.
You know what, and I'm a bit afraid now, is that I hope I didn't give any commentator's curse.
And Alessio Campus.
I have, and that's Campus that's fun. It's the wrong guy, but I'm just not going to talk about spinning anymore because Campus has a mini spin, but he's still there. So he didn't lose too much time, lost about the second, and he's still up in that fight. 3 laps to go as clock crosses the line.
Yeah, and Jonathan now finds himself behind the back marker, but the back marker going out of the way as the book said you should do. And the gap between him and Daniel Brewer is now 5 seconds with 3 laps to go. Might be a little miracle Jonathan needs in order to get the 2nd place, but Twister on 1 in 1st place and 3rd place definitely a good result if they can manage to stick on to it.
Hopefully they can. And quickly rounding out the retirements. So as we said, Marino and Dominguez on lap 1, then Ivanov, Chedilio, Hiron Kuikul couldn't make the end with that. Had very terrible suspension damage, but he still tried to fight it out. And then Jorg Winter and James Sadler, unfortunately, as well out of the race. But there's still 19 runners in this, and points are still there. Falcon's outside of the points in 11th, Corey's in 10th, and but they're pretty far apart on the track, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. But then back at the front, Swerkus will have another shot as he comes onto the back straight on Bozhov. He's still far behind. Bozhov's got that middle sector covered with the wing.
He has, and this corner now, the long swing to the right, obviously the most important corner on the track for having the best exit, therefore top speed. And Boshoven now showing he has a 2nd life in his tires apparently, because he has taken some tenths from Swerkus. But Swerkus late braking there and locking up a bit. Swerkus desperately trying to prove himself and saying to Boshoven, I'm not gonna let you run out with this 4th place, I'm still in the fight.
I hope he's screaming it to Bozhov, because he has been for the past 5 laps or so, and he can't make the move 6. He's very close. Oh, he runs wide into turn 1, he's onto the grass, and I think that might let Campus through and take the position. They're going to be side by side through turn 2, bit of room, bit of contact, but Campus gets 5th place. I think he runs onto the marbles.
Yeah, they let each other live there, and it's nice. Swerkus obviously had to watch out rejoining the track, but they did that nicely. And even though it's tricky to say, I think Jonathan Holmes is catching Brewer now.
He is around, I think 2 seconds a lap. Yeah, 2 seconds a lap, so Brewer's tyres are going off rapidly.
Yeah, this is a tough call to make, but I think Jonathan will catch him in the last lap. and Twister will get the 1-2. Let's see if the precision can handle the pressure and show some defensive lines by keeping Jonathan Holmes behind him. Jonathan does not have the DRS at this stage, but if he can keep his mind together, he will definitely have it the next way around. And will the back markers in front of them play a part as well? Let's not hope so. Let's knock on wood.
They might. That's Veloso in the world now, and they're battling for position as well. I think Klopp begins his final lap. Terrific race. He's only got another 16 corners.
Yeah, and Jonathan Holmes now edging into Daniel Brewer. Brewer going defensive now in the back marks. Ooh. Jonathan on the outside line trying to get the grip, but it's a longer line towards it. And Brewer here back on the inside. Jonathan on the curves, and that allows Brewer to take a better exit, but he loses the car and the momentum. Jonathan Holmes passes Daniel Brewer for second place. Brewer still able to get back on the inside, but just doesn't have the life in the tires and is not desperate for that second place. And that might be the best and wisest decision. Great driving from these guys. Great driving.
Excellent racing. Thoroughly entertaining for us and for all you viewers out there. I mean, unfortunate for Daniel Brewer not to hold on to second, but he's effectively gained from that by one-stopping. Remember, he was going to finish fourth, but Berghoff struggled a lot. And as Renz Klopp comes across the straight now, and he has a few more corners before he takes another thrilling win.
Already celebrating China. On the straight.
Celebrating and, now, hopefully he's...
he knows it.
He knows that he's...
It has been a terrific race from Renz Klopp. Didn't get it easy. He has been pressured a lot. But here he comes for Twister Racing. Takes his second victory in the FSR Pro Series, and look how happy he is with it. And Jonathan Holmes eager to follow up. This will be a Twister party today here with a 1-2. And they should be happy. Jonathan Holmes really props for clinching that second place. But still, Daniel Brewer can get a thumbs up for proving that one pit stop strategy is podium worthy.
How about Berghoff though in fourth? Disappointing race for him. Expected a bit more, but he'll be back at Imola in 2 weeks' time to fight for that. Swerkus couldn't get past. He's in fifth. Campus finishes in sixth for faster than speed. Crown 7 Netrex. Nelmes comes now. He will get 7th spot. Nice race from Nelmes. And Coriala for Crown 7 Netrex closely behind takes 8th. And then Corday is at the hairpin now for 9th. And Score is coasting in 10th.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Might have a fuel problem, but this allows Adrian Falcon to take the last spot in the top 10.
Can you catch him?
What an action here. I think he can. I think he can.
I mean, yeah, he's run out of fuel.
He's short shifting, but he's... Oh,
Chasing.
Adrian Falcon, can you make this stick? Oh, he's slowing down. Adrian Falcon, are you gonna surprise us? No, he's not. Christopher Schroeder make.
Oh, the final point. Or the final extra points goes to Score. Unfortunate for Adrian Falcon in 11th, but another great end.
But what a racing it was. We have seen during the start of the race a massive carnage on the straight. One contact leads to another, and then the chaos is complete. Obviously, it was nobody's intention to cause that, so it will be a major decision for Carlos Martin to decide whose fault was that. And then again in the 4th or 5th lap we saw some spins and chaos again. But at the front it was steady all the time. We didn't see chaos. We have seen only terrific racing, and I'm happy to say that it wasn't boring to watch.
Now, thrilling racing, another cracking race for the FSR Pro Series shows how entertaining it is here in all 3 divisions of FSR. The WC, the World Championship event, is in just over an hour's time. Stay tuned for that. We'll quickly round out the rest of the finishes. After Falcon in 11th, we had Jordi Salvado in 12th for PSR. We had Sebastiano Filosa in 13th. DeWald Nell in 14th. I'm not sure how to pronounce who's in 15th. You want to give it a go, Chris? I think you got it before.
It's in 15 is Mihalo Vicjentovic, I think. And
nice.
And Rando Tam in 16th. Parlington in 17th, Dimitri Zaharov in 18th, Chris Knight in 19th, James Sadler did not finish the race in 20th, but George Winter has an unknown status indeed. Maybe there are some logging issues there. Either way, a 1-2 for Twister Racing. They will be very happy with it. And the last lap battle between Holmes and Brewer was definitely outstanding. And Brewer gave it his best shot. And well, unfortunately for him, the race lasted one lap too long.
And I'm not sure which strategy paid off, because definitely the two-stop paid off. But it would have been interesting if Bozhov didn't pit. I still want to know if Ren's Klopp was planning to one-stop eventually, and just thought, oh, if Bozhov pitted now, I might as well just cover him off and get that two-stop done. So wonderful strategy anyways from him. Brewer, nice. First podium finish for Avid Chronic Racing, the new team in 2014. Wonderful job for them. And other than that, thoroughly enjoyed that, Chris.
Yeah, you can say that, all right. And it's the Pro Series, like you said earlier. We still have the WC, the World Championship, to look out for, and what a battle it has shown there as well. Obviously, it will be a race with 100% distance, so we will have 1.5 hours of intense racing, according to the last race, where we've seen Morant and even Ats Kerkhoff racing as well. Will Bono House close the gap to Morgan Morant? It's definitely a show to watch out for.
Definitely show to watch out for. Stay tuned for that. Just big thank yous today for Sam Jones, our broadcast director, and replacing Jaakko Mikkonen this round as our cameraman, as he's off for personal commitments. Thanks to Edward Maliki for the TV graphics, Carlos Martin, the Pro Series director, John Eric Saxon, the FSR president, and of course the sponsors. We have Thrustmaster, Race Department, SimSync, R-Seat, and thank you for joining us once again. I'm alongside Chris de Jong.
And a quick reminder for you: please check out the FSR Fantasy League on the forums and on the website of us to win yourself some spectacular prizes and to be the manager of your own little team, and to see who has the best knowledge of which driver will finish where.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for Christian Smirnoff once again for getting that underway and all sorted. Once again, I think in 2 weeks' time we'll be at Imola, and we can't wait to have you again there. It'll be another thrilling race again. We've had 3 cracking, jaw-dropping races. So what a great start to the season for the Pro Series. And
it has been. Well, for now it's time to go. We see you in a few hours in World Championship. Alongside me was Jonny Simon. I'm Chris de Jong, and we see you in 2 weeks' time.